TD Ryan Unleashed is brought to you by Scott Diamond, your State Farm Insurance agent in DeKalb. Call 815-748-3101 or stop by at 2587 Sycamore Road, Suite D in DeKalb. Like a good neighbor, Scott Diamond and State Farm are there. Pizza Villa, pizza, pasta, sandwiches, and more at 824 West Lincoln Highway in DeKalb. Don't forget Kids Eat for Free on Thursday. For delivery or pickup, go to pizzavilla.com or call 815-758-8116. Elder Care Services of DeKalb. Safe, secure, and supported, helping you stay in home where you want to be. Call 815-758-6550 or stop in at 1701 East Lincoln Highway in DeKalb or on the web at ecsdekalb.org. My Insurance Guy in Sycamore covers Medicare to auto care and everything in between. Stop by at 204 South Main Street in Sycamore. Call 815-899-0950 or online at myinsuranceguy.com. Welcome into TD Ryan Unleashed News Podcast number 57. Honored and privileged to have with us the Oak Tree of the News Department. Back with us, Dan Lynch. Dan, how you doing, my friend?
Blazing hot.
Blazing hot, yes, we are. I can relate to that. And, of course, very honored to have with us at the last minute, we asked Bob Stewart to join us. Bob Stewart, former chaplain with the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office. And, of course, a good friend of Roger Scott. We're going to be talking about the Roger Scott golf outing. Bob, thanks for making time this morning. How you doing today?
Just fine. Hot, and that's why I've got shorts on. It's warm today, but I'm glad to be here with you.
We just realized that we all three of us at one point worked at WLBK Radio. You had a Sunday morning show on there back in the day.
Yes, I did. For a number of months that I broadcast live every Sunday morning for 15 minutes and did that for a number of months.
What was the name of the show again?
DeKalb Gospel Time.
DeKalb Gospel Time. Yeah. I like that. Who wouldn't listen to that? So we're going to talk about the golf outing. We're going to talk about your relationship with Roger Scott. I had the pleasure of interviewing Roger numerous times on the radio, and just I think it was more amazing what he did away from the sheriff's office than what he did with the sheriff's office. But when you combine those two things, pretty outstanding individual, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yes. Very good testimony, not just for the Lord, but for the community. And his involvement with, obviously, foster care. And they fostered over 50 different kids.
Yes.
As well as adopting his original children. Are the same ages of three of mine, and then he just kept going on to where he had, I think, 10 is all total. So it's quite a group. But he was a tremendous family man and a tremendous citizen, and I rode with him many nights, all night, as he was on patrol, even before he became sheriff as a lieutenant, and that's when my first association with him was when he was a lieutenant.
Okay, and I'm glad you had the numbers because was it over 50 kids that they fostered? I just not to mention their own kids as well, right?
That's not mentioning our own biological three children, which one of them heads up Love Inc., which is Nathan, the oldest. And I've been with him, I've known him and supported his ministry since the very beginning of it, when he was in Chicago at some of the housing environments where he would actually move into them to meet these kids.
Oh, wow.
And so he didn't just live and go in there and work. He lived there in Cabrini Green.
I remember when Jane Byrne, the mayor, did that briefly. Lived there for like 3 weeks with this huge security detail around her all the time.
That was an all-splash show.
Right.
He didn't have the security.
No.
So his was a different environment.
That's great.
That's the kind of person he is.
So we're going to talk about Roger some more. We're going to talk about Love Inc. as well. I remember I interviewing you guys when Love Inc. first started. And basically, if you can define it for us, Bob, it's basically a clearinghouse for churches and all the charity work they do, kind of bringing them all together, huh?
Correct. It is not, it's a faith-based, but it is not a denominational-based. We have a lot of contributors from various churches and organizations that give and items, or they help financially, or they do anything else that is necessary. It's all a volunteer group. There is no pay. The only person that is given a salary is Nathan as a director. I'm on the board, and I've been on the board for a number of years now, but all the board members even our treasurer is all.
I'm sorry, we were talking to Bob Stewart. Bob was explaining what Love Inc. was there, and you were talking about what they actually did there, Bob. It's just amazing to bring in all those. So basically, if I call a church that's connected with Love Inc., if they can't help me, they're going to go send me to another church that can help me, right?
Correct. That you call our number, you call the Love Inc. number, and what we are is kind of we find what they're needing, and we have a huge, we have a warehouse storage area where we store the furniture. People they may call and say, I have a couch or a bed or a dining room set or whatever to give to Love Inc. We make arrangements for pickups, and we take it to our warehousing area and sit until someone has a need for that.
That's great.
And then we get this from various people all over the county. And then we store, and then basically it's a recycling back around. We just turn it around and give it away. There is no charge for this. This is strictly brought in by volunteers and distributed by volunteers. I have personally taken furniture to people that had nothing. And I don't do that so much anymore. My body doesn't let me do all those stairs and carrying anymore. But we have a lot of youth that help us, which we like to have churches that will have their teens come and help us on Saturday morning to pick up, deliver, things like that. And so it's a distribution of one place to the other, which, by the way, we are in need, looking for another place to have our furniture stored. We're going to be losing the lease where we're at.
Okay.
They're selling that building, and it was being donated as it was. So if someone knows of a facility where we could use a good facility where we could store furniture, it goes in and out very rapidly.
Yeah, that's great that you're getting to people that need that. My grandmother lived through the Depression, and she never would throw any food away. She wouldn't throw hangers away, paper bags. But her biggest upset was when any furniture that wasn't being used. The furniture was being stored in some garage or something. She's like, get it out there and get it to somebody who can use it.
Redistribute.
That's awesome, yeah. All right, Dan, you're going to give us some news. We'll talk some more about Love Inc., and we'll talk about the golf outing that's coming up here and the Roger Scott Memorial Golf Outing, but that's going to come up here. But, Dan, what do you got for news?
DeKalb City leaders decided to pause a vote on the homeless camping ordinance earlier this week, as many residents dislike the premise of possibly fining homeless people $50 to $150 for camping out for an extended period within the city, the two-hour threshold. The ordinance is partly in response to the July 2nd incident where a 33-year-old male, homeless, sexually assaulted a lady at the library and then subsequently at the farmer's market. The crimes shocked the community as it happened in the middle of the day. City leaders say they are gathering more feedback and info on a more thoughtful way to address the issue of violent homeless people.
Okay. Yeah, because it seemed like it was kind of a knee-jerk reaction when that happened. And, of course, many of us shocked. We were recording this in the DeKalb Public Library. You were sharing with me off the air that somebody you know was here and saw the actual event happening.
Yeah.
The good news was that the DeKalb police were able to apprehend this guy within 5 minutes of the first call, but he attacked 3 people and just really scary stuff there. But, the homeless problem, it's such a complicated problem. Bob, I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, but it's such a difficult thing to deal with. And then, the idea of finding a homeless person just seems kind of ludicrous there because obviously these are the homeless. They don't have the money.
Yeah, obviously they don't have any ready income. So that would be kind of pointless as far as an actual monetary fine.
Yeah.
When they started the homeless shelters, was very much needed and has grown in tremendous need over the years of people using someplace to, especially with children, someplace to sleep, someplace to eat, someplace safe is the big thing. You're not safe if you're on the street.
Yeah, the last numbers I had from Hope Haven was that I think they have 97 beds total, and they had at least 300 people on a waiting list to get in. So, wow. Like you said, the need is greater than ever.
There's a constant need there. We've given many times, even our church, we've did food and repair it and take it down to them. And we've done many things, dispense portions of stuff for showers and soaps and that type of thing for those that are homeless down there.
Yeah, I work at Hayes Gym now, and the DeKalb Park District is offering showers for the homeless folks to come and, that's what you need, to get clean yourself up and feel good and be able to go out and look for a job.
Yeah, that's the point of it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, I don't know where this stands, Dan. Now, I know one alderman, they tabled this, right, for till the next meeting. 7th Ward Alderman John Walker voted against taking it from the agenda, saying he wanted to offer residents an explanation behind the proposal, and Ward number 1 Alderman Carolyn Zazada was absent for that. But so they tabled this proposal, right? At least until the next meeting.
After reading Carolyn's statement on social media and listening to John and others on the council, it sounds like they want to do something.
Right.
But the sticking point is, how do you admonish the offender?
Right. Police Chief David Byrd said, we are very considerate. We're understanding their circumstances. As long as they are not breaking the law, then that's the posture the approach will take. If they continue to do that, we will show an extreme amount of grace and care. So obviously the DeKalb Police Department is aware of the sensitivity of the situation.
Yeah, and then, of course, when it's on the Chicago News and the Rockford News that in the middle of the day that happened at the library, and then minutes later, a block away at the farmer's market, I mean, it just doesn't look good for DeKalb.
No.
So I know a lady who babysits a child. She's in Batavia, babysits a child in DeKalb a couple days a week. She said to me in passing, well, I'm not going to stroll her downtown anymore. This baby downtown anymore. I'm just going to stay in the apartment.
Wow.
So that was one comment. So if you're a DeKalb City leader, you don't want to hear that.
No. So that's why, again, Alderman Walker was very passionate about that. I'm not tabling that, but they will table it for 2 weeks, and then we'll see what happens there. But again, that's a very complicated issue. That's what, again, Love Inc. is such intricate involved with this, because that's what you guys are all about, is helping people.
Yes, obviously, we do it on a physical basis of they have to have some type of residence. We don't take furniture to middle of nowhere. So they have to have some residence someplace that will deliver the furniture to. But we've been places where they had actually, what we brought in was the only furniture they had. They had no place to sit. They had no place to sleep. They had that apartment, but that was it. So you become very sensitive to the situation. There are people, you always find somebody that has a need greater than your needs. It takes you outside of your own small world into somebody else's world, and that's...
Well, my favorite quote was, and again, I thought it was from the Bible, it was actually from Helen Keller, who said, I felt sorry for myself because I had no shoes, and then I met a man who had no feet. Yeah, right. So it's like, you think you got problems, and then you meet people who really have problems.
Yes, correct. Yeah. I mean, until you actually see that and get involved with people, you don't understand the compassion that's needed. I've worked a lot of different functions, even at the border, with aliens as they brought in with situations that are very dire and they're very destitute, and so it saddens you that these people have to go through that. So you try to help the best you can, medically or physically. I mean, even Jesus said, a cup of cold water given in my name, you'll not lose your reward. And so it's...
What was that again? Was that...
A cup of cold water given in my name, you'll not lose your reward. In other words, the idea is that Christ is involved not with just, oh, God bless you, but as providing the water.
Okay.
Providing the drink, providing the help. The Good Samaritan he didn't just walk by as the others did. He went over and got involved in the person's life. He picked them up, he cleaned them up, he took them to what would be considered a hotel. He told and paid for his stay and said, anything he has occurs, I will pay when I return. So that's involvement, and that's what Love Inc. does. We get involved with people's lives. Our idea is to obviously help them, but we also try to steer them on a faith base. We don't steer them into a particular church, but we do steer them towards the Lord Jesus Christ. And so we help them physically. The idea that, well, God will bless you, and you don't do anything for them.
Right.
It doesn't go very far.
Yeah.
Well, you're hungry. I hope you get some food, but you don't give them anything. That doesn't last very long. So there's a point to helping. Has to have hands and arms, and to reach out.
All right, very well put there, Bob. We're going to talk some more again. We got talking about the Roger Scott golf outing that's coming up here on July 23rd. DeKalb County Nursing Center. Now, I'm interviewing right now all the candidates that are running for the DeKalb County Board, and of course, the big story is the DeKalb County Rehabilitation and Nursing Center. Now, Bart Becker has stepped down. He resigned from the position, kind of surprising folks. Becker, who returned to the center in 2022, after previously working at the center from 2015 to 2018, resigned on July 2nd, according to multiple DeKalb County officials. DeKalb County Administrator Ruth Kedzor confirmed to Shaw Local that Becker has resigned. However, she said he doesn't mean the facility is operating without leadership. It's business as usual, she says. In August, Becker reprised his role of the county-owned nursing home administration months after the DeKalb County Board voted to sell the facility. Now, if you remember that, they sold it, and then the people backed out. The sale eventually fell through. Becker stayed with the facility and the county officials there. At that time, the years between Becker's stint on the job saw financial turmoil at the DeKalb County Rehab and Nursing Center, spurring the county to board to a 17-5 vote to move forward with a $8.3 million sale to an Evanston-based Illuminate, a private healthcare company. In September, the sale of the nursing home fell through, and the lawsuit brought by DeKalb was settled. I don't know what they got. Do you know what they got for that, Dan? Because, I think they had to make a...
There was a time I knew, because I remember going to those meetings.
Yeah, okay. But that fell through, so now it's back with that. A job application posted online for the next nursing center administrator. It's expected to pay between $100,000 and $140,000 a year. So there you have it. I don't know, Bob, if you spent any time over there at the Rehab and Nursing Center, but people are very passionate about that place. People that work there and people that live there.
Yes, I've known people that are at the home, or I've known people who have passed away over the time that we've been involved in the city. We've been here for a lot of years, off and on, and have been involved with people visiting people there several times, and had some people that we know that have had residency there, and it's been a good healthcare group. That,
do you know a gentleman named Roger Lemke, the late Roger Lemke, or Al Cook, by chance?
The name doesn't ring a bell, but then my memory is not as good as it once was.
I bring them up because they used to go to the DeKalb County Rehab Center. If you remember the Orange Peel Gazette with the jokes in there, and they would go around to the residents and read them jokks. And boy, I did it with them a couple times, and the people just they weren't thrilled about the jokes, but they were thrilled to get a visitor. It was just great to visit them.
Oh yeah, if people can go and you don't have to know anybody there to go in and visit people, because they don't have a lot of, they have activities. They have an activity director and things of that nature. And I have kids in healthcare. I was a paramedic for over 30 years.
Oh, wow, bless you.
So I have treated thousands of people over the years. And then you go into nursing homes and things, and people are just happy to have you come and visit with, just sit down, talk with them, because what they remember and to share with them, it just takes a little bit of time, off of your schedule.
Right.
And when I was called in professionally, I didn't have that kind of time, but I've visited people where I just sit down, and I've had services at nursing homes and stuff where we'd go in and have songs and just to spend a little time.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's just, it does your soul good to share that way. Gets you again outside of your norm, of getting off work, going home, and fixing dinner and going back to bed and starting it all over again.
Right. God forbid you miss your 2 or 3 hours of television.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, what else you got for news, my friend?
DeKalb Farmers Market is offering extended hours from noon to 6 at Van Buren Plaza 3 times. This will give people who actually work during the day some time to check out the vendors and the food trucks. The special event is one of 3 scheduled and will feature all the produce and baked goods. Now, City Police Chief David Byrd announced that he stepped up security at the market for the rest of the season in the wake of the July 2nd arrest of the male who sexually assaulted a couple of ladies. The next event is booked for August 13th.
Okay.
So if you want to go. I could never go because
Well, Becky, my wife always said that too, because during the day you can't get over there during the day. So it's good that they're open at till 6 o'clock at night. Is that what they're doing?
Yeah.
That's great.
I like the farmers market.
Me too. A future podcast coming up here. You have a gentleman you probably know. Chief Leverton is going to be one of our guests there. Very interesting how Chief started in the police field. He said after an encounter with a drunk driver during his teen years, Leverton decided to pursue a career as a police officer. He said that night, it struck me that it's something that would look like to be able to do, help people when they need the help the most. And he was hit. He was in the parking lot, in a high school parking lot when he was in high school, and he got hit by a drunk driver. Drunk driver came in the parking lot and hit him and another guy.
Gosh.
Yeah, so I thought when he said involve with drunk driving, it would be somebody he knew or something like that. He was hit by a drunk driver as a teenager. And it didn't force him, but that's why he became a police officer. So, and then 30 years with the police department, just amazing. Now, Bob, you were the chaplain with the sheriff's office. What does that entail, my friend? What is that?
Well, at that particular point, I went into the jail and talked to those that were incarcerated, and I had an actual service that I would have. But then I would go in if someone wanted counseling or that nature. I would go in and set up with Lieutenant Shaw, which was the head of the corrections at that point, and I set up a time I'd go in and talk to him. But then I rode with, there wasn't an officer on at that point that I didn't ride. At some point I would hook up with him and go on patrol with him.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. And then I would also give, with coordination with the county coroner, notifications of death also. I would go with them
Denny Miller, right?
to make that notification and be able to help them with that tragedy for that family. And I would go out with the patrolman if they didn't have a religious leader or someone, I'd make contact with some relative or somebody else I could get a hold of to help them through this crisis.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just part of my function. I also did training with Roger. He was a dog handler at that point. He had Rex, and I would go out and hide, and the dog would have to find me. And the dog loved it because I had the leather sleeve on, and he would. I would try to run, and he would tack me. And Rex knew it was a big game, but he loved it. And but I would go out a lot and hide someplace, and then let the dog sniff me out. But I would rode with Roger for a lot of times.
I got to tell you a story with my wife and I had a book. She was down in New York, Dogs of 9/11. It was called. It was the dogs that were brought to 9/11 and to find, unfortunately, a cadaver, to find bodies. But these dogs were used to finding live people.
Yes.
So while they were there, occasionally a fireman would go and hide, so the dog can come and find a live person. Then they would get their treat, and because the dogs were becoming depressed, trying to all of a sudden they're finding dead bodies. But they talked about the dog's effect on the firemen themselves, the catharsis effect. They would show the fireman hugging the dog, crying with the dog, telling the dog about losing their buddies. It was just magic to see that.
Yes, the dogs are. I mean, a lot of people think of them as some kind of vicious animal, and they're not.
No,
they're trained very well. And Rex was. We had two dogs in the department at that time. Prince was one, and Rex was. And they lived at the house with Roger.
Yeah, they were off duty, right? They get home, take the vest off, and they're off duty.
They stayed at the house, and now I personally wouldn't want to break into that house, but he had a kennel for the dog, and so. But it was once the dog retires, I usually stay with the
as it should
officer,
be.
Afterwards. But we got along with him fine. We did a lot of different school activities and stuff like that for kids to meet him, and they would go around and be able to pet him, and he would hide bags of marijuana. Excuse me, and the dog would find it.
Oh, cool.
That was part of his function.
Well, I hope the dog would find it.
Yeah, I found it. Yeah.
All right, Dan, you got another news story?
It's about a dog.
How's that for
sad story? A DeKalb man is charged with animal cruelty. According to arrest documents, authorities were called to an apartment, 1600 block of North 14th. This is back on May 7th. 34-year-old Jaden Norwood is accused of leaving a dog in his apartment without any food or water. I believe it was a neighbor who called.
Yeah.
Who heard the dog. But it's obviously cruel because a dog can't call.
Right. Yeah.
The Michael Vick thing.
Don't even get started with that. I know. I just lost my dog. We just had to put our dog down last week, and just they ingrain themselves into your heart and your soul. It's just amazing.
And a toddler and an infant can't call 911.
Right. So we're talking about let's talk about the golf outing. Inaugural Roger Scott Memorial Golf Outing is set for a shotgun start, 8:30 on July 23rd. That's going to be at the River Heights Golf Course, 1020 Sheridan Drive in DeKalb, but you don't know that. Meant to benefit the work of local charity organizations and its mission. The fundraiser is named in memory of the late former DeKalb County Sheriff Roger Scott, a proud supporter of Love Inc. DeKalb. Roger died at the age of 78 on February 23rd, 2025, after serving the public for 52 years in law enforcement. Tom Scott, Sheriff for Love Inc., County and Roger's nephew, said he's excited about raising money for the cause. The event not only will be an 18-hole scramble-style golf, but there will be morning coffee, pastries, prizes, raffles, silent auction, hamburgers and hot dogs for lunch, and camaraderie in the clubhouse. Scott said the fundraiser is meant for a good cause. So, Bob, if you don't want to golf, right, you don't have to golf. You can just go and kind of hang out. And
Yes, I'm not a golfer. I've never been anything fascinated about chasing a little ball around 18 holes of golf, much less 9 holes. So biggest thing I've ever done was miniature golf,
Okay.
So, but I will be there. I think all the board members will be there. But it is to raise money for Love Inc. and let people have a good time.
Yeah.
There'll be lunch provided.
Okay.
It'll be there. I don't know. I think Nathan may be cooking some of it. I may be cooking some of it on the grills and stuff like that. But we need sponsors, people that want to golf. They can get a foursome up, or they can come independently. They don't have to have a foursome. We need sponsors that they get their name put out, and as part or giveaways if they have a business that they want to give something to that for drawings and stuff like that. Or hole shots when they do
right.
par shots and stuff like that. We have several sponsors that way. We could use more. We could use more golfers. It has a limited amount of time, and they're all starting off at various holes.
Right.
You can't have
the shotgun start. Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Shotgun. You can't have everybody starting at hole 1.
Right.
But so that's how it'll be done, and it is strictly to raise money. As for Love Inc. With it, and which will help towards the budget of to support what Love Inc. does for the county.
Right, and to reiterate what you said, Love Inc. of DeKalb County strives to fill the spiritual and short-term physical needs through GAP Ministries, whether helping DeKalb and Sycamore area neighbors in needs, obtain requests to donate items such as beds, dining tables, dressers, lamps, kitchen items, living room furniture, and pillows. Now, if they want to register for the golf outing or donate, there's a phone number here, 815-517-1928, right?
Yes.
So it's 517-1928, easy one to remember, or loveofdekalbcounty.org.
That's our site. Yes.
Right? Loveofdekalbcounty.org there. So again.
That's where they can go online and if they donate, they can call and say, I have something to donate, and we will make arrangements to pick up. And the same thing works for our intake people, that when there's a need, they call and say, I have a need for a table or a need for this. And a lot of times, sometimes they have to leave a voicemail. We get back usually within 24 hours
Okay.
of them and try to make contact with them, the legitimacy of it. There are things that are checked out before we just turn over
Oh, sure.
the
I'm sure you guys
items
do your
or
due.
cash for helping in such as rent or that type of thing. And we have churches that those GAP ministries that's what they deal with. They deal with collecting through their church kitchen items or bathroom items and stuff like that, so that when we have a need, then they supply that particular
That's
need
great.
or gap in there.
And we should point out, let's talk some numbers. Love Inc. of DeKalb has served 56 families since May. The charity group has accommodated 191 families since January 1st. So you guys have been busy, haven't you, Bob?
Yes.
That's
yes.
great. All right, what else, Danny? Do you have another story? I'm sorry, we're on the community calendar now.
Yeah, a Sycamore motorcyclist was hurt in a single vehicle crash. This was in Ogle County. 49-year-old Eric Byer of Sycamore was heading west. This was on a road called Oregon Trail Road. He failed to negotiate a curve, and his bike entered the ditch, struck a guardrail, a wire from a telephone pole.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he was taken to a hospital with injuries. He's charged with aggravated driving with a license revoked, driving under the influence of alcohol.
Oh, see, it was intoxicated. Oh, my gosh.
And other citations.
Wow.
But serious injuries for that gentleman. That happened on July 12th, just a few days ago, at about just before 8 at night.
And be careful and be aware of the motorcycles. You got to be aware of that. That's why I stopped. I tell you, a lady pulled into my lane when I was in the right turn lane, and she just pulled right into me, almost knocked me off the bike, and just kept going. And that's what how come I had a 350 Suzuki? I said, that's it for me. I'm not. You ever ride a bike, Bob? You ever motorcycle?
I did years ago, and I'm not much on because I do bicycles. My son is a huge advocate for bicycle, not the electric bikes.
No
When you
electric bike.
actually
That's
have
cheating.
to pedal, you know.
The e-bikes are all over town.
I
by the
know.
way.
And I used to ride a bike a lot. And after falling several times, my son finally said, "Dad, you need to give this up." After patching myself several times with my knees, and I finally, said, "Okay, I think I'll stick to walking. I have less chance of falling and, have injured myself." But I used to ride a lot. But motorcycles has never been my thing.
No,
I have a lot of friends that do it.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at the community calendar brought to you by your friends at the Stagecoach Players Theater. Go to stagecoachplayers.com. Call over 815-758-1940. The latest production, The Man Who Came to Dinner. That's going to run July 23rd through August 2nd at the Stagecoach Players Theater. We'll give away 2 tickets here at the end of the broadcast here, so be listening for your chance to win tickets to The Man Who Came to Dinner at the Egyptian Theater. Other things going on this weekend, the Waterman Lions Summerfest is going on. The 26th Annual Waterman Lions Summerfest and Antique Tractor and Truck Show begin at the County Farm Breakfast at 7:30. That'll be July 18th there at the Shabanow Community Church. Cocktails at the Crib, the DeKalb County History Center's annual fundraiser. Cocktails at the Crib is from 4 to 7 p.m. on Saturday. And that's at 730 North Main Street in Sycamore. DeKalb Back Alley Market, the Summer Back Alley Market is from 3 to 8 p.m. on Saturday at the Palmer Court in downtown DeKalb. And DeKalb Municipal Band concerts continue. DeKalb Municipal Band performs free concerts at 7:30 p.m. Tuesday nights through August 18th. At Hopkins Park Band Shell. Now, what did you do for 4th of July, Bob? Did you, where are you from? Are you from the area here? Where do you,
Yeah, I'm from this area. I did not go out. Usually we don't go right down to where the park is at because it's just too much congestion. So I'll go someplace where I can see them or something like that. This year I did not. We didn't go out. I think I turned on something from Washington and
Watch their
and
fireworks.
I convinced my wife to watch it online. And I said, "These, you don't get bit by mosquitoes." I mean, I over the years have went to where even when the kids were little, we would go out and just eat up with the mosquitoes, and to watch these. So
And you're like, why are we doing this again?
I never had figured that one out, but you do a lot of things.
Now, Dan, you were going to stay home. Did you stay home with the kids, or did you guys do a little
We were
backyard?
at a pool party that day.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And then I got home and I was tired, so we kind of at our house we watched them from our house.
Okay. Don't tell me you
mean-
went to sleep. I thought you were going to say you went to sleep.
No, and I did not watch them on television, but I might do that in the future.
Let's take a quick look at sports now. This is a really interesting story. This kid who went to school here at, Yorkville Christian, he went to school. He averaged 33 points a game as a high school senior and a state championship and a 3-point title as a junior. Dave Douglas, all he wanted was an in-state offer. He wanted to play here in Illinois. Nobody in Illinois offered him. He went played in Wisconsin Green Bay, turned that program around, 2 injury-plagued years at Fresno State. But now we've talked about the portal before, and now he's able to come back home. So every player on the NIU basketball team now has either graduated or transferred out from last year's Rashawn Burno's team. After 5 seasons, he had a 48 and 106 record. I said I could have done a better job as head basketball coach at NIU. I could put up a 48 and 106 record.
He came from DePaul.
Yeah, I mean he was big time. We thought he was big time here, but this kid will get to play after he played. Was it 37 miles down the road? He played there and at Yorkville Christian. But for a high school kid to average 33 points a game, that kid must have some game there. Wow. You a big basketball fan, Bob?
Basketball fan, yes. Football, it was my sport. I did all conference and all state when I played for Genoa. I
Oh, really?
graduated out of Genoa.
Okay.
Wow.
And
What position?
was tackle.
Tackle, okay.
Yeah, and was defense, and then went to offense, but I did both. And so I was used to hitting people.
Did you make a little run there? Did you guys do a little postseason, or was there a postseason?
Well, there wasn't postseason back then.
Yeah, there wasn't. No.
No, but we did. We never lost the game. We had 3 shutout games that they never scored on us.
Really?
And so, in fact, they established the Hall of Fame, in which just a couple years ago, they brought all of us in and had a big ceremony. We're the most winning team at that point.
Is that right? You must know Phil Jerby well, then, the athletic director there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my mom taught there. My dad had a business in Genoa.
Oh, wow.
I went to Genoa High School, and so I have a lot of good friends. But we went to that ceremony, but it was.
What was your
nice.
best moment, Bob? You know, lineman, you don't get a lot of glory. Did you recover a fumble or maybe an interception?
No, it's when you stop the runner
Okay.
and you get him before he even gets the line of scrimmage, or you get the quarterback. My idea was to try to get him before he ever hands it off. Now, I was out at that point. I was probably considered light now, but I was I was about 250.
Really?
Added up.
Okay.
And for back then, that's heavy.
That is heavy.
We had a solid line of 200. So we did a lot of stopping of plays. And so my goal was, what the coach told me, was to stop the run. Don't let him get past you. And
that's great. You prided yourself on it.
Thousands of yards that I've had to run at the next practice because I let somebody get by me.
It's a shame they didn't keep stats back then, because now they got stats on everything, rushing the quarterback and hurrying the quarterback.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm sure your stat line would look pretty impressive back in the day.
Probably, I'm sure it would if they kept those kind of stats. What they kept was if I missed.
Now, we like to do the obits here again. When Dan and I worked at the radio station, you had to pay to have the obits put on. So we always thought so many wonderful people in the area that we'd like to read the obits. Now, this is Richard White, Jr., age 66, survived by his loving wife Sharon and his daughter Ashana and Kerwin and Rick. Rick loved riding motorcycles, we were talking about, shooting pool and spending time outdoors. For more than 20 years, Parkinson's disease never defined him. He continued to work full-time, care for Sharon, take Abby Jo for daily walks, and never missed an opportunity to spoil his grandchildren. So that's what we're talking about, people living through here. This guy, he had Parkinson's disease for 20 years and just didn't let it affect him, didn't let it affect his life there. He valued hard work, perseverance, and always putting his family first. His life lessons, and I love this. This is Rick's life lessons. If you have 2 hands, change your own oil. You shouldn't pay somebody to do that. If you walk into somebody's house, knock first. If you borrow someone's car, you return the car with more gas than when you borrowed it. Never drink the last soda. Now, this one, maybe you guys, I never do any construction. He says, thumb under hammer, not over, or she'll bite you. Now, when you hammer, is your thumb over or under? It says thumb under hammer, not over, or she'll bite you.
I think you're talking about hitting your hand, I guess.
Right, yeah, with the hammer, yeah.
Yeah.
But I never thought about where my thumb is when I hold the hammer.
Gripping it?
Yeah.
It's usually around it.
But his says thumb under hammer, not over, or she'll bite you. Keep the bike shiny side up. Do you understand that?
Well,
It just
people say that about cars.
Okay, keep the shiny side up. Keep a Snicker bars and a Pepsi in the boat just in case. Never let your alligator mouth override your hummingbird butt. I like that one. Don't let your alligator mouth override your hummingbird butt. And speaking of butts, your butt goes into the seat first before your feet. Those weren't just saying, they were Rick's ways of teaching responsibility, respect, and common sense. And his famous baby duck sneeze never failed to make the children and the grandchildren laugh. You ever see somebody do a baby duck sneeze? I can't even begin to attempt
He
to do
sounds like the kind of guy who would tell me to keep my feet off the Davenport.
Right, I like that.
Did you ever call the couch the Davenport?
Oh, yes. And then we have Merle Smokey Nevitt, age 87 of Sycamore. Was born in 1938 in DeKalb. Married Lynn Ray in 1967. Was employed for 43 years at the Barber Green Caterpillar plant. Smokey is known as the kind of Sycamore legend for his pioneer driving in their Sycamore Speedway, mostly known for his classic stock cars and flat-tire motorcycle racing. Also was known for an incredible 15,000 Christmas lights display for almost 50 years on Alfred Drive that won him multiple national competitions. He was a loving family man, enjoyed a cup of coffee at the Sycamore Cafe with his buddies there. So he used to run out there. You ever go out to the Sycamore Speedway?
Oh yeah, I've done that when haven't been out. It's because it's a dirt track.
Right.
It gets a little, hectic as far as the dust. I have a problem with not asthma, but breathing in. Like today has not been a good day.
Yeah.
But I've been out there. I used to go out there a lot when I was younger. Knew some people that raced out there.
Yeah, we went, my wife and I, we sat in the corner because we thought it's a good place. We got a couple of beers and we're drinking a little while and we looked out and there's dust, there's dirt in the beer.
And they even wet it down. It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. Carrie Nelson of DeKalb, age 70, she was the oldest of 4 children. Mary Roger Nelson in 1976. They were in the same high school class in DeKalb, but they didn't get to know each other until they went to Augustana College together. They quickly fell in love and married at their sophomore year. After college, they returned to the DeKalb area and raised their family on a farmette in Clare with 2 children, Ashley and Wesley. A menagerie of horses, goats, dogs, cats, guinea pigs, birds, fish, you name it. Horses were her passion, and the children learned to ride and show. Riding and driving horses in the annual Sharon, Wisconsin Christmas Parade was her favorite event. She had a bachelor's degree in music ministry from Augustana College, also a bachelor's degree in music education from Northern Illinois University, and a master's degree in music from Vandercook College of Music in Chicago. She taught music 5th grade, 6th grade, and 2nd grade in Elgin School for 32 years. She touched the lives of literally hundreds of children over the years and enjoyed running into them in town later and learning about their lives and family. My mom taught for 30 years in Chicago, and the biggest thrill I had was at her funeral. Some of the kids came back and said that my mom was cool. I remember that. They said your mom was cool back in the day. But did you have a teacher that really...
Yeah, my mom was a teacher.
Well, your mom was a teacher, okay.
For about 35 years. She taught in Genoa. Actually, unfortunately, I was in her class my freshman and sophomore year.
Oh,
I was
my
in
gosh.
English. One of the 2 better classes that I did all right, and people thought we'd just given... I had to work for that B.
Probably, yes, twice as hard, yeah.
Oh, yeah, into sakes. I was glad when she decided to go to another school. But I taught for a few years myself after I got out of college. It just wasn't my thing.
No.
Because the whole idea is I wanted summers off. Well, I didn't make enough money to stay summers off.
Right.
So, and I went to college in Denver University. So I couldn't. I had to work all summer. So this is sucky. So I decided to go do something else.
And finally, Cesar Rubio, unfortunately lost him at a very young age, at the age of 26. Cesar lived, defined the life of hard work, kindness, and generosity. Was known by everyone by his hard work ethic. People I've ever met, if asked where he was, he said the answer would usually be he's at work. He was a motivated, goal-oriented, and determined to build a better future. A dedicated team member at Rosati's Pizza, he took great pride in his work and approached every responsibility with commitment and integrity. Beyond his work ethic, Cesar's greatest gift was his heart. No matter who you were or what you needed, he was always willing to help. He really sounded like a great young man. Was proud of his milestones he achieved through his life, celebrating graduating high school and purchasing his first car and working towards his goals with determination. So again, just so sad to see somebody taken like that at such a young age. But that's why we do the obits. So we thank you for contributing to that, Bob. We thank you for that. And again, now we're moving right along here to birthdays. Birthdays and anniversaries brought to you by your friends at DeKalb County History Center. Go to DeKalbCountyHistoryCenter.org. First birthday I want to mention is Sycamore resident veteran Jack Connerton. Do you know Jack by chance? Celebrated this week at his home, the Grand Victorian, by fellow residents. His 107th birthday.
I read that.
How about that? State Senator Sue Risen was there. He will turn 107 on July 25th. Other birthdays that we have coming up here include Jody Willard will have a birthday on the 20th. Anna Reynolds will have a birthday on the 22nd, and Natalie Bindo will have a birthday on the 24th from DeKalb. You got any birthdays, Dan? Any,
My sister Margaret, July 26th.
July 26th? That was my mother's name, Margaret. Any birthdays you got coming up here in the near future?
I have a lot with 5 kids and 11 grandkids and 9 great-grandkids.
Oh, my gosh.
I have them all on my phone. There's no way my memory's got it.
Well, we don't have time. We don't have time for that either.
They're in every month of the year. So.
And, of course, we always get our friends at the DeKalb County History Center send us over our own This Date in History. In July 1874, Isaac Elwood purchased a half interest in the Joseph Glidden bob wire patent. Now, this is what people always get confused. So Glidden, Elwood purchased a half interest in Joseph Glidden's barbed wire patent before the patent was officially awarded by the U.S. Patent Office. That made the two DeKalb men partners, manufacturing and selling the new invention. By 1907, Isaac Elwood wrote, all the barbed wire that has been produced would put a fence around the earth 17 times. Potter Post number 2, the Grand Army of the Republic. The Civil War Veteran Organization was chartered on July 14th, 1874, and the post mustered August 4th that year. By 1885, it was one of the strongest posts in the state, with active membership of 86. During its existence, it mustered 152 persons. Now, you're a military guy. Muster just means you muster out of the service, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on, you never heard that?
I'm not a military guy.
I'm not. I'm the chaplain, actually, at the Legion.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Sycamore.
Yeah.
I'm the chaplain there. My father was in World War II. I was not personally in the services, but I'm in what's called Sons of American Veterans.
Right, yeah.
And so I'm the chaplain for that group. But so mustering out, yes, I have all the stuff from my father, spending time in France and Germany and Belgium. And
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Yeah, one of my favorite from MASH, Colonel Potter, when he said there was no atheists in foxholes. He goes, there's no atheists in foxholes. And I believe that, too. And finally, the Duck Soup Co-op, a DeKalb food cooperative that offers its members non-processed nutritious foods at a reasonable price, is growing by leaps and bounds. In July 1976, Mike Funk, the coordinator of the co-op, said it started November 1974 as part of the Juicy John Pink Coffee House with 25 members. It operated as an independent, nonprofit organization with between 300 and 400 members. The group expects membership to continue to increase. In 1976, they carried cheese, butter, oil, grain, bean, dried fruit, juice, flour, meal, nut meal, noodles, and other items as well. Now, that's still sitting empty. You know that building, the Duck Soup Co-op there?
remember when that was going there,
Yeah.
that location.
Yeah, and they were doing, like I said, they were doing really well
Yeah.
for a while there.
Yeah.
But, I don't know why a co-op couldn't make it like that, you know? Everybody saves money, right? You all share the,
That's the whole point of it.
yeah. Communism. That reeks of communism. And that's a look at the birthday and anniversary list there. Brought to you by your
I
friends.
called it Duck Soup Coop.
Duck Soup Coop. There you go. Brought to you by DeKalb County History Center.org. Well, again, people say we don't have enough humor in the show. I printed out some hot jokes, but the only good one I saw was, it's so hot, my dream house is any house in Alaska. It's so hot, I saw a funeral procession pull through the Dairy Queen. It's so hot, I installed a fan in the debt ceiling. It's so hot, Optimus Prime transformed into an air conditioner. Kind of like that one. But so that's our attempt to instill a little humor in the show here. But Bob, we can't thank you enough for joining us. Again, we called you at the last minute to come join us about this. But I knew your love for Roger Scott would bring you here because, again, that's how we started. Let's finish by talking about Roger. And, again, just a great job that he did as a father and as, of course, the sheriff as well. And we don't mention his lovely wife often enough, too.
No, Marcia was stood by his side with. He had an account at Glidden Florist because he wasn't in trouble all the time, but he would be late a lot, you know. And so I used to kid him all the time. I said, why don't you just, at that point he didn't have speed dials. I said, why don't you just put an automatic, they just drop by and put a bouquet there. He put more flowers, which is fine because she was a tremendous wife for him and helpmate and stood by him and inspirational for their work in fostering and adoption processes and helping kids in the community.
Yeah, 50 kids.
Yeah,
I mean, Dan has 6 kids, and I oh my gosh, it must be tough with it. Which is tough with 6 kids, but to foster 50 kids in addition to your own kids, just
yeah. I mean, it was just every time I turn around, I tried to get them to come over for dinner or something. I said, well, we got so many people, kids, we're gonna have to watch this one or that one, and it would work out. And I said,
Wow.
let me just bring supper over to you. And so instead of you bringing everybody to us, But it was a tremendous. It was their ministry, and it was their life. That was them. They were called to do this kind of thing. Not everybody has that type of innards to do
No,
it.
no,
You
they
know?
don't.
You know, I mean, I have 5 kids and all the grandkids and stuff, but they're all mine, and I didn't go out and look for others. You know? So, you know, and we've helped numerous people over the years, but their, you know, their reward is seen in their children caring for them.
Mhm.
If you were around at all when you saw them at the funeral and all the various kids that helped her get through all of this, it was amazing. I mean, Roger's been sick before he passed for a number of months. It gotten worse and worse over time. And I used to go and we stopped the breakfasts because it just got to be too much for him to get out. So I would just go over there and we'd have coffee or something together just to spend a little time. Not as much as I probably should have or would have liked to, but it was days he was just very tired. And,
Yeah.
But as far as Marcia has been amazing with not only just, it was their mission, so she felt it was part of her duty and her life.
Wow, it's amazing
help,
people.
yeah.
Yeah. And before we let you go, what made Roger happy? I mean, was it the kids or what made Roger tick, do you think? What made Roger get up in the morning?
It would be his family ties and the fact of what he felt he was doing in law enforcement was for the good of the citizens. He was, the whole time I was with him, I've never seen him pull his weapon.
Is that right?
No,
Yeah.
I've never seen him pull his weapon, and I was out in a lot of situations, and I've never seen him have to pull his weapon. And he had felonies. He arrested people when he was a lieutenant and stuff. But he was his children and his sense of loyalty and duty as a citizen and a patriot, because he was in the service. He was in the Air Force. Made him do what he continued to do. I talked to him about retiring sooner or later. I said, you ought to, but he just didn't want to. He gave it up for his health purposes.
Right, I had to.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd still be having breakfast.
I believe it.
So
So again, the golf outing is coming up here on the 23rd. Again, you can go to Love Inc. at DeKalb. loveofdekalbcounty.org, loveofdekalbcounty.org. Or if you're old school, call 815-517-1928, 517-1928.
by the way, you don't have to be a seasoned golfer if you just want to get together and knock a ball around. And it's just the idea of getting together and having fun for the day.
Sure, it'd be like a little memorial for Roger too. I'm
Yeah.
sure you guys will sit around and
Yeah.
shoot the breeze there. And,
Yeah, I mean, there'll people come out that knew Roger and can have fun with. There'll be a lot of his former patrolmen will be out that day. We already talked to several of them that they'll be out that.
well, you could just have all his kids there. It would be a great outing right there. You'd have enough people right there. Dan, we always give you the final word. What do you got there, buddy?
Boring All-Star game, and
Yes.
the White Sox and the Cubs are solid teams.
How about that? I
Pretty
know.
unusual. In the same year?
In the same year, yes.
Whoa.
Get the Blue Line World Series.
Roger was an avid Cubs fan.
Oh, yes.
Avid. I was a Sox fan, but the games I would go to him with, it was always at the Cubs, and we would sit in the family section. We went to several with my son and his sons, and we'd go to the Cubs games. But I was personally a Sox fan. But we used to kid all the time about that. But he was avid Cubs fan. Yeah, him. Nathan's the same way, avid Cubs fan.
Yeah.
It don't matter if they're up or they're down. This year they happen to be up right now. So
Yeah, I remember 84, I was a little upset because the Cubs were doing well, and all of a sudden these fans that weren't fans were fans. They're like, where were you in 1969 when they blew the whole thing? The 70s were brutal, but it's great to see that. All right, Bob, again, thank you so much for joining us today, and
I
God bless.
appreciate it.
God bless Roger Lemke and his family. Again, try to get to the college fighting. Thank you, Dan, as always. And that's TD Ryan Unleashed News Podcast number 50. So big thanks to my nephew, Michael Davis, for getting us on the air. And that's TD Ryan Unleashed News Podcast number 57.